You actually talked about that in next episode.
Let me start that just section.
Yeah.
Just gonna do that. So I Yay, you're here. Welcome to How to Be a Grown Up with CK and GK. Let's get started.
It's Tuesday. Oh my gosh, listen to my voice.
Oh, do you want to try that one more time or are you just good with it? We'll just roll with it.
We'll roll with it. I'm going to drink some coffee and see if that doesn't fix it.
You guys, we record on Saturday mornings and sometimes the coffee hasn't kicked in and sometimes we're still a little sleepy. So I think that's
you know what? I'm not going to be able to fix it. Yesterday was homecoming. I actually am not going to be able to talk better.
Oh. Oh, and
this has nothing to do with sleepy voice. I bet I strained my voice yesterday.
I bet you did too. Oh, goodness. Okay.
I have sexy Phoebe sick voice.
Yes.
Smelly cat. No.
Yes. I love it. Well, we're so glad you're here today. It's, I'm sorry, Halloween is over. So did you know it's already Christmas? Right? So that means it's holiday tipping.
Like Thanksgiving.
I love Thanksgiving. Don't make no mistake. I love Thanksgiving. But what I'm saying is all of the ads have already turned over to Christmas. And I will say when I was in the craft stores helping my son with his project before Halloween, there was already Christmas stuff out. So
oh my gosh, Christmas stuff comes out after Easter. Let's be real.
That's very true. Okay. Well, today, since it's Christmas, we're talking about holiday tipping. So who to tip, how much to tip them, and how to do it without completely breaking the bank, and what to do if it's just not in your budget.
Love it. Mm-hmm. But first, she might tip 20% of the bill, but she's got 100% of my heart. Oh, Caitlin.
Yes. That's the full service. Yes. The service fee. Yes. That's Jenny, everyone's favorite brilliantly flustered cowgirl. I don't.
It's perfect because last night's homecoming was Western themed.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So I did do somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 hours in cowboy boots.
Oh my.
But I say in the neighborhood because there was a point at school where I just took them off and walked the halls in my socks.
Oh, okay. Perfect. That's not gross at all.
No. That is not even close to being the grossest thing I've done as a middle school assistant principal.
Well, please tell me that you had dark socks on, because otherwise the white socks were destroyed.
No, white with sushi.
Oh.
But it's okay because I have 3 pairs of exactly the same socks because my mom gave them to me for Christmas 3 years in a row. She does not have dementia. She just couldn't remember that she already gave me these socks. That would be a really great gift.
Ladies and gentlemen, mom brain does not go away once your kids are adults. It lingers. Okay, so do we have any shout outs today? I have one. I know. Do you have one?
Yes.
Yes.
So I want to acknowledge that this episode is airing after the election, but it is recorded before.
Yes.
And so I know that like no other time in history, emotions are really high around elections, particularly those at the federal level. And I want to offer support to those who are unhappy or worried about the results, whether it be in their local election or for their legislators or even for the president. Your vote mattered. Please continue to vote. Thank you for taking the time to participate. Yeah. And we are with you. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you sit on. We want you to know that your vote does matter, and we're glad that you cast it.
That was very well said and appreciated. So thank you for that. Anxieties, as you and I are recording this now, again, it's before the election. My anxiety is very high. I imagine that for some people after the election, their anxiety is now high. So just do what you can to take care of yourself. But again, so true. Your vote did matter. You took part in the process. That's a good thing. I have one, but it's kind of mental health related, I suppose. If you haven't rated, reviewed, and subscribed, please, this is your plug to do that. Someone who is, I'm going to leave their name out of this, left us a review on Spotify, which you can now do. That's a
Love.
new feature. Yep. And we had an episode about making adult friends. And this person.
Thanks to the Junior League of Austin.
Yes.
For doing a whole segment on that I could then steal the content and reuse.
Perfect. This person commented on the episode, "Thank you. This is helpful. I've attempted suicide 4 times and struggle with depression. I love the positive, high energy and laughter. It helps. May I ask for laughter throughout future episodes?" I'd like to say to that person, first of all, we're no stranger to mental health struggles.
Yeah.
Suicide and depression are things that both of us have experience with. But just know that laughter is our love language, and we will definitely continue to make each other laugh as much as we can.
Oh, for sure.
If not because we're funny, but because we might have made an awkward moment that we just have to laugh through. So,
and like I've said, if nothing else, I'm around for downward social comparison.
Right.
You can always laugh at me, even if you can't laugh with me.
Right. You can blame stuff on me and you can laugh at me. That's how this works. So
you had posted on our socials that it was Jersey Day at our school.
Yes.
So I did go through with it, and I did go as Snooki.
You did. I saw the picture. It's perfect. And I will say
it is hard to put together a Snooki look that is appropriate for school. Let me just tell you this.
100%.
But someone said, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But also, like, how?" And I said, "Well, here's the thing. I am always just one decision away from getting fired."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, I have to say, am I allowed to post that picture on our socials? Because
100.
There has been demand. There have been pics where it didn't happen, and there have been like, please follow up. So I will post that. If you haven't seen it, go to our socials. It's there. Today, we are again talking about holiday tipping. So my sources for today are an article from Fidelity, Holiday Tipping Guide 2024, How Much to Tip. Another one from the Wall Street Journal. This is Holiday Tipping 2023, which I imagine will get updated very soon, but the gist remains the same. And another article from Real Simple called Everyone You Should Remember to Tip Over the Holidays and How Much to Give. So I'll make sure that those are linked in the blog post for this episode. Yeah. Okay. So holiday tipping, who to tip, how much to give them. It's a whole thing. Right. In terms of tipping, I know the basics. You always tip your server at the restaurant. You tip your hairdresser, unless you have an amazing hairdresser like mine who says, no, don't tip me. It's included in the service fee. Generally, I tip the people who do things for me that I can't do myself, like Dwight Schrute. Right.
Oh,
if I can't do it myself. Right. If I don't do it myself, then I should probably tip them for that.
I think I said this before.
Yeah.
But when I was 16, I was at a Red Sox game at Fenway, sitting in the cheap seats with a bunch of college kids.
Yeah.
And they were talking about tipping. And one of them said in his best Boston accent, "What did you do besides your job?"
Okay.
And I was like, that is a great rule for tipping.
Yeah.
If you were pleasant and cheerful and helpful, tip.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
There's also this like explosion of tipping culture, right? Like where you're being asked to tip on things that you never would have been asked to tip on before. And it's okay to say no on those things.
Have you seen the video where it's a parent-teacher conference and at the end she turns the computer
around? She turns her thing.
This is just going to ask you a couple of questions.
That's so good. Like, we'll get into that later. Okay. So there are rules about tipping that I did not know.
Ooh.
In fact, I only recently learned that you're supposed to tip your hotel staff when they clean your room.
Oh, definitely if you're staying more than one night.
Yes.
Okay, if you're only staying one, I'm not going to tell you not to tip, but I am going to tell you you're only staying one night. But if you are staying multiple nights, little $5 on the bed makes a big difference.
I just never have cash. So I just...
well, and that's the thing. Whenever we travel, like that's part of my job to get ready is to make sure that I pull cash, because we'll get to the airport and we'll do the sky cab. And we're like, oh, we don't have any ones to tip for the bags. Yeah. Oh, we just took a cab and now we don't have any cash to tip the cabbie. Like, I mean, so it's it's part of my like travel culture in my mind is like I have to make sure that I pull cash and I go into the bank. Did you know you can go inside a bank?
I used to work at a bank.
I
So yes, I did know you could
You
go in.
still can. You still
Yeah.
can in 2024.
Mhm.
And they will give you the money that you want
Yes, you can.
if it's in your account.
Right.
If you have access to that money, they will give it to
Right.
you. But I will say like, hey, I need 10 ones
Yeah.
or whatever.
And they'll even count it out for you because they're
Yeah.
required to.
Mhm.
Yeah. I used to love the people who would go to the ATM, come back in with like 220s and say, break this up for me.
And you're
Because
like,
then
wait,
I don't even have to do any paperwork. All I had to do was just be like,
that's
oh,
hilarious.
and it goes faster. So I'm just,
And you didn't tell them like, hey guys, you actually don't have to make this a 2-step process. We are indeed a one-stop shop.
no, they did it that way on purpose because then they wouldn't have to fill out the paper. They could just do it like, yeah.
Got it.
I loved it.
That actually is smart now.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
Anyway, you know, at
Okay.
Disney, they're not housekeeping, they're mousekeeping.
Oh,
And you're definitely got to tip your mousekeepers.
okay. Yeah.
Sorry, continue on.
Anyway, so
If there's a way for me to weave Disney in, I will. Let's be real.
I have to show you my cruise magnets at some point. Anyway.
Oh my God, I also ordered some for you.
It's going to be like Office Space with the flair.
It is definitely giving flair. That's amazing. So good. Okay. Sorry, guys. Continue on.
Okay. So today we're giving you some guidelines around tipping, including how to say thank you another way if tipping just isn't in your budget for everyone this year, which is understandable AF. Okay.
Right.
So first, tipping is not obligatory. That word should, where you should yourself, don't use it here. Okay. A holiday tip is a token of gratitude for the people who helped you this year. It's not tit for tat. Okay. This is not gift giving obligation stress where someone gives you something that they found at TJ Maxx and then you also have to go, oh, shoot, I didn't give them a gift. Let me go to Costco and get you some Lindor Lints and hand them off to you. Like, this is not what this is. You're laughing because you know I'm right. This is what people do.
That is so accurate.
Yeah.
Here is this candle that still has the markdown sticker on it.
Right. And it probably smells terrible if you light it. Don't light it. Yeah.
Okay? Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So there's also some stigma around the word tipping.
Right.
So if you feel better calling it a bonus, call it a bonus. That's fine. That's essentially what like when you work, if you get a work bonus, it's basically a tip. So just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I see it through the lens of bonus as well. That like,
yeah,
and this is
helps.
We'll talk about timing a little bit as we get further in the episode. But like, I always try and make sure that it is a holiday bonus that arrives before the holiday so that they can spend it on the holiday. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yep. Okay. 2, second, set a budget. Okay. Include tips in your overall holiday gift giving budget and set aside any money that you do plan to give. Okay. If you're saying that I'm going to spend this much on gifts, carve out a piece of that and use it for tipping. If you can't give the recommended amounts, which we will get to in a minute, we have a plan for that. No stress. Okay.
Okay.
Third, make a list.
And check it twice.
Gonna find out. It's not Christmas. It's not Christmas yet. Okay.
Sorry.
Who helps you during the year? Okay. The nanny or the babysitter. Your dog walker or pet sitter. Your house cleaner, your doorman, any maintenance workers, your personal trainer, your hairstylist. This list of people for me, I don't know about you, but for me, this list of people is long.
Right.
Help me, right? Who do things for me that I cannot do for myself. So what you need to do when you look at this list is start to prioritize, right? Prioritize by how regularly you use their services. If you're like me and you don't get a haircut very often, that person can go lower on your list than, say, your housekeeper who might come every 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay?
And for me, I do not give a year-end bonus, holiday tip, whatever we're going to call this, extra money to either a dog sitter or my hairstylist, because I always tip my dog sitter when I come back and my dogs
the
are
process.
alive. I always send a
Yes.
little extra money.
Yes.
And then my hairstylist, I always tip 30%.
Yeah. So I take care of you all year long. Yes.
So I'm fine with not giving her a holiday year-end bonus.
Sure. Especially if you go get a haircut around the house. You know
Every
what I mean?
6 weeks. Otherwise, you're going to see that I'm not a natural blonde.
All right. So the other thing you can prioritize by is how long you've known them.
That's great.
All right. And the biggest life changers. So if there are some things in there that really, really, really impacted your life in a special way or whatever.
They care for your children.
Something like that. All right. Just make sure that you prioritize people, because there are people who you can move to the bottom of the list, and that's okay. Okay. When to tip. This episode's coming out in mid-November. So like now?
Yeah.
Now is a good time. Don't wait until Christmas Eve. This money is likely going to go towards any holiday expenses. So it might go towards a vacation or gifts or whatever. So use that to help motivate you.
Trying to pay their property taxes before they're due mid-January.
Oh,
who knows?
Lord.
Just saying.
Oh, Lord.
Just getting it out there.
Right.
Some people don't escrow.
Right. So here are some guidelines. These are courtesy of Lizzie Post, as in Emily Post Institute. Yes. Lizzie Post is the co-president of the Emily Post Institute. She suggests.
So I had an Emily Post wedding guide.
Yes. Okay. How'd that go?
No. Someone gave it to me and she signed it. Then I signed it and gave it to someone else. And like, it's been through like 5 or 6 brides with all of our names in it. It's really so cool. Cute.
I love that.
Okay. Sorry. Continue on.
No worries. She suggests what's called the up to rule. I love this rule. This makes so much sense. Okay. Look at up to a week's pay or up to 1 session's pay and consider this the guiding amount for your people. Okay. Use your discretion for the relationship that you have with this person to go up or down accordingly. Okay.
I love that.
If you're planning to hand out a check or cash, add a card. It's festive. It makes it less awkward. You're not shoving money into someone's hand and saying, happy holidays. You're going to just say, you leave the card out. And ta-da, there you go. Okay. You can absolutely tip within an app. When you do that, just include a personalized message. That's it. Totally fine. If you normally pay your housekeeper using Venmo, just add the cash or add the amount there and just say happy holidays. You know what I mean? It's all good. Okay.
I will say something. Find out how your service provider would like to be tipped.
Yes. Yes. Because
I do not accept payment for my tutoring business through anything besides check, because I like to have the checks as a document for the IRS. So when people want to Venmo me, I look at them and I'm saying, I'm really sorry. I work in the 1980s. You have to write me a paper check. Mm-hmm. We can also do a bank-to-bank transfer, but I cannot use a payment app because I do not want the IRS to look at my entire Venmo history and try and sift through what is Jenny GK Educational Services versus what is Jenny GK as a person.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. My pet sitter is the same. She prefers a paper check.
Yes.
And there have been times where we've forgotten to leave the check before she comes, and we've said, can we pay you? And it doesn't work that way. So we end up having to get the check over to her a different way because she
still keeps your cats alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because she understands, having been in that seat, not everyone is a paper check person. Some people have to dig through a drawer to find one. Right. But it is really important to me that I have that documentation.
Totally fine.
This is really important. If the person runs their own business, please ask them how they would like to receive a bonus.
That's a good call. I like that. Okay. Let's get to some recommended amounts, shall we?
Love it. That's the most important part. That's all that people care about anyway.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are listening to this whole episode and finding it all riveting. My apologies.
I'm not insulted by the way that I've organized this episode at all. Here are some common bonus recipients.
No, you're putting the most important part right there.
Right.
Come on, guys.
Here we go. And about how much to give them. Your babysitter or nanny, one typical session or 1 week's pay, depending on babysitter, one typical session, nanny, 1 week's pay. Your daycare staffer, this is a big old oops. I did not know this was a tip, but I always gave nice gifts. Okay.
Yeah.
25 to $75, depending on how many hours your child is with them. Okay. Hairstylist, cost of one service. In-home caregiver, 1 week's pay.
Okay.
House cleaner, the cost of one visit is the recommended amount. Again, these are also up to amounts, right? So just up to is okay. A landscaper, which I ain't got one session.
Oh man, you got to use Lawn Starter. It's like the Uber of lawn mowing.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute.
So you just put in when you want one, and then who's ever available just comes and does it.
Smart. Okay.
Yeah, so we don't have like a established relationship.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no, sorry. Continue on.
Okay. Pool cleaners. I also don't have one of these. One session, and they can divide the money amongst themselves. If you have a regular massage therapist, the cost of one session. Your manicurist, pedicurist, esthetician that you see all the time, if it's a consistent person, the cost of one session. Your newspaper delivery person. Did not know you were supposed to tip this person. We don't get a newspaper, so there you go. About $10 to $30.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, should I just tip AT&T Internet? Like, how do I do that?
Your personal trainer, which props to you if you have one. Good job. I don't have one. The cost of one session. Your pet sitter, dog walker, groomer, cost of one session. Sanitation workers. This is a good one to add to your list. $10 to $30 each.
So let me tell you this. Our neighborhood rallies together and tips them all as one.
We will get to that because that is a great strategy.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm out.
Yep. Also, a few other people to consider if you live in an apartment. If you're a renter, renters tend to give less than owners. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Your super or your resident manager, $150 to $300. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So just keep, again, we will get to it if the money is not in your budget.
Right.
Okay. Your door attendant or concierge, if you have one, $75 to $200. A porter or handyman or maintenance staff, $25 to $50. A garage attendant, especially if it's one who regularly looks out for you and knows you, knows your car, those things, $25 to $75.
Cool.
I want to make it very clear. These are expenses that many people do not opt into. Here's what I mean by that. If I can't afford to tip my server at a restaurant, I am not going to go eat at a restaurant, and neither should you. If you can't afford the tip at the restaurant, don't go to the restaurant. Uber Eats that mess or something, right? Like, it's part of how they make a living. Okay. So that's an opt-in expense, right? Like, you are choosing to go to a restaurant. Yes. So you are opting into paying that tip. An in-home caregiver or a super, these are not opt-in expenses. Okay. Your super takes care of your apartment, regardless of whether or not you need them all the time or just one time. You are not opting into having a super. Right. You have a super. That's just how that works. And
they're not only managing calls that you make.
Right.
There could be building wide things that they're handling that you don't even know they put that fire out before you got to it.
Right. So prioritize expenses for people that you don't opt into, that you have all the time, rather than the optional ones. Okay. Now, that's big money.
Mm-hmm.
That's big money, especially if you do have all of those people. Right? That's also maybe if you have all those people you can afford, but if you only have one or two of them and you can't, we got to talk about what to do, because That's big money. Okay.
Right.
That list isn't even exhaustive, but there are definitely some people on it that you might not be able to thank with money, and that's completely okay. Right. And there are people on that, well, not on that list, but there are people in your life who will support you that cannot accept a cash gift, right? Or they can't accept a gift over a certain amount.
Mm.
So they can't accept gift cards or anything. Like, for example, your postal worker, who you might be very tempted, because I have a regular postal worker, like you might be tempted to offer them something. They can't accept it, right? They can't get any more than $20 per calendar year. I did see 50 on another website. I don't know which one is accurate,
Oh,
but
that's interesting.
yeah. Delivery drivers are often discouraged from taking cash tips, even if you have a regular one. So we'll get to what you can do for them in a second, but you might have to check with like in-home care providers to see what their policies are for taking money. So just keep that in mind as you start
Yeah, that
prioritizing your
totally makes
people.
sense. When I was growing up and we lived on the Air Force Base, the people who bag your groceries and then bring them out to your car work for tips.
Yeah.
But if you go to the major grocery conglomerate here in Texas who goes by their initials,
Yes.
they're not allowed to accept tips. That was a major culture shift for us when we moved here. We were like, wait, we don't tip you? They're like, no, we can't
Wow.
accept tips. Well, that's because they're being paid.
Right. Yeah. Very different. Okay. So here are some alternatives to warm, soft, beautiful cash. Here we go. Cards with heartfelt messages and or artwork from your kids. There's some really cute ways that you can
Mm-hmm.
do stuff like that. Baked treats. I caution, there are people who will say, "Oh, thank you for the baked treat," but then won't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So just something like, maybe it's from a bakery and it's prepackaged or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, You can leave out snacks and beverages for delivery drivers and postal workers. This is what I do every year. I put out like a cooler and a basket, and I have like bags of chips, and I have fruit roll-ups and candy and things like that, so that when they come every 12 to 24 hours to my house, they get and have a treat. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I saw this idea that was cute. Work socks. Like
Okay. Say
what?
more.
Like super like padded nice work socks.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
for inside the boots. Yeah. I
Right.
thought that was a
Right.
good idea.
It's
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what a work sock is, but
Just
now I get
something
it.
that's, yeah, that's
No,
like
no, no. Like a
padded
heavy
or,
duty, like sock
yeah, or
for
like
working.
yes, like a double or even something like double layer so that they don't get blisters. Like there are double layered socks like that. That might be a good idea. I thought that was cute. You mentioned pooling, as in pooling cash.
Yes.
That is a great way to be budget friendly because there's always people who are going to be willing to give more than others. And there's usually a recommended amount, but people understand if you can't give the recommended amount, they just appreciate that you gave anything. So, this is a great way to take on class gifts for teachers or collections for apartment building workers, office maintenance staff, your local sanitation team, etc.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, they just put a message out in our neighborhood group, and you can Venmo the person, you can send cash, whatever, but then they put it all together in a Visa gift card and then deliver it to the team, or
Yep.
multiple gift cards, I guess, but deliver that to the team with coffee and donuts. And so
Perfect.
there's like a little social, if you in the neighborhood are available during that time, you can go and thank them in person as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love that. Okay. That said, when you just can't tip,
Right.
like nothing, like you are paycheck to
Yeah, or
paycheck,
they made it to the bottom of the list. They are not
right?
going to, yeah.
They're not in your budget. Inflation is still a problem. You might not be able to do anything. We get it, right? Chances are the person that you plan to tip gets it too, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not going to hold it against you. A tip is an add-on. It's not an expectation for these people,
Right.
as it is for, say, for example, someone who is your server at a restaurant. right?
Right.
Like it's
Where
different.
they are working for $2.15 an hour and expecting to supplement that income with tips.
Right.
Right.
I'm sure that the person who you planned to tip would rather you just keep paying for the service, like with regular support, than be stressed about an optional holiday bonus. Okay?
Right.
If it bothers you, you can write a heartfelt note that is very transparent about what's going on. Okay? It's okay to say something like, thank you so much for all of your hard work this year. This year, things are tight and I find myself unable to provide cash tips and bonuses, but this is not a reflection on you or your support. I truly appreciate you and I wish I could do more to say thank you. I wish you and yours a beautiful holiday season.
The world is crazy right now. It's fine.
Yeah, it happens and people understand. It's okay. And you just need to let that shame go. Okay. Just, they don't expect it. It's not an expectation. It's a bonus. All right. So no matter what, when it comes to tipping, don't feel anxious about the amount you tip. Your anxiety is probably like mine, where it's like, you're not giving enough, but that's just not the case. Okay. Tipping is not a contest. People just appreciate that you did anything to show them that you value the work that they do. So do what you can. It's enough.
Nice. And that's like a good thing to live by.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's take a break. For links to resources mentioned in this episode, head on over to ckandgkpodcast.com/blog to find everything you need. And be sure to follow us on social media. Head over to your favorite social media network and find us at CKNGK Podcast. And now, back to the show.
Okay, we're back.
Yay! Oh, your poor voice. Oh, dear. We're back.
Who are we? HP. Okay. I did that a lot. I also yelled at the 8th graders and said, I will not lose to the lower school in the spirit stick.
Oh.
And the thing is, like, parents are also invited to this pep rally. And so one of the moms looks at me, she was like, that's right. You will not.
Yeah. I love when the parents, like, get it.
Yeah. Like, I had a chance there. I didn't realize. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe these parents are going to think that this is a problem. But no, they were like,
no, they're into it. Yeah.
GK's serious. She's winning that spirit stick.
I remember bumping into one parent at a holiday event in town, and she was like, oh, it's Miss Kindred. And she was like, I love me some Miss Kindred. She is all sass. And I went, oh my gosh, I love these parents.
I feel seen.
I'm so seen. It was the best. All right. Speaking of people that love us, what are we obsessed with?
What?
It's not a good transition. It was just a transition.
Speaking of bagels, have you ever been to the driving range?
Goodness.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me tell you what I'm obsessed with right now. It's a little bit old. And guess what? I'm late to the party on a lot of things, guys.
Yeah, it's because we have kids and jobs.
But like, it's good that it's old because all the episodes are out.
Yeah.
So bonus.
Okay. There you go.
Pig Iron from the Tortoise Network. It's a podcast.
Okay.
It's a 7-episode serial about it's an Earbuds In podcast, moms.
Okay.
But it's about a reporter who was a war coverage reporter who was killed in South Sudan.
Oh.
And the circumstances around his death are ambiguous. Some people think he was caught in the crossfire. Some people think that he became a mercenary and was actually fighting.
Oh,
and
wow.
So it's really interesting. There is no resolution, which
hard.
From the beginning, right? I didn't give away the ending. But it's a deep dive into this guy's experience and the world of war reporting.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl who does it is a journalist, but not a world reporter. Not a war reporter. So It's really interesting to get her take on that genre of journalism and the experience that she goes through learning about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, it's
I'm
good. It's really
yeah,
good.
I can get into that. That sounds great. I also am into a documentary style uh thing. On Netflix there's a new Zodiac documentary.
Oh my gosh. Like about the Zodiac killer or about the
Yeah.
signs of the Zodiac? What is it?
No, it's about the Zodiac killer and it's
Oh, I'm so in.
about oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Okay, so Abby just made fun of me the other day. She was like, "Yeah, put your hair up in a top knot, drink your pumpkin spice latte, and listen to your true crime."
First of all, those things are basic because everyone loves them. We've gone into this.
I
Like
know, but
there's
I just
nothing
looked at
wrong
her
with
and I
it.
was like, "You shut your
Right.
mouth." And why do you know me?
Whippersnapper. Right.
Yeah.
Be
Okay.
quiet.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so Zodiac killer.
It is a theory that they actually think they know who this person is. And we've seen these before, right? Like there's so many of them, but this one is like pretty compelling where I'm going,
Whoa.
these are like eyewitness accounts of this man being in this area at the same time that someone goes missing and then like walking up to them with blood on their hands. Like it is wild. And I am all in. And I also started watching the Vince McMahon like wrestling one.
Oh my God. If I had to
Whoa.
pick people on this planet to never watch that, you would be at the top of my list.
I'm in. I'm all in. I'm fascinated. I'm having like, oh yeah, I
Do
remember
not
all
tell
these
Johnny
boys.
or he will talk your ear off the entire time we're on the ship.
No, don't talk to me. No, I haven't watched it.
No,
Nope.
this
I haven't.
man loves wrestling stories.
Well, I did hear the Chris Benoit story finally for the first time. If you
Oh
haven't
my
listened to
gosh.
that, there's an
That
episode about him in My Favorite
whatever,
Murder. You
like
should go listen.
beyond the ring or behind the ring or under the ring or inside the ring or whatever it is, the documentary show about wrestling, and like every week it features
No,
another story.
no,
Dude,
I'm not into
he
that.
loves that
No, does
because
he listen?
it's so dramatic. There's
Uh,
so much behind the scenes.
no, I don't care about that. Does he watch? Does he listen to the We Watch Wrestling podcast?
I don't know that he does
Well, it's Georgia
because he's so
Hardstark.
busy listening to Uncle Dan / Father
Oh,
Dan
yes,
Patrick.
and he also listens to our show
Well, there's that.
on occasion, not all the time. But anyway,
But enough to make
yeah,
a
no,
comment.
those are two. I cannot recommend. So we've got Pig Iron by Tortoise Network podcast, and then the Zodiac documentary and the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. Those are our recommendations and obsessions right now. Okay, gems.
All right. So, like I said, it was homecoming last night.
Mm.
And it is John's 20th reunion.
He's a whippersnapper.
I know. He's so young. I just robbed the cradle on that one.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things since rejoining this community that John has been able to get some traction on, that he has been working on for, I don't even know, a lot of years, is this alumni effort. And he's like, look, we got to get people back in the space without a financial ask.
Yeah.
In order to re-engage our alumni, we need to not treat them like a cash cow.
The other thing is too, like, it's sort of cyclical. Like if they enjoy the alumni association events, they will start to provide money.
That's
and
exactly
it won't be an ask. It will be a, this was fun, let's do it. So
Right.
it's how organic social works. You build the community and then the benefits come. Like it's just logic.
Yes. Yes. And he has said that multiple times. He's like, don't ask me for money.
No.
Ask me to come to a party.
And then
where I will enjoy myself and then say, man, I would love to finance these kinds of things.
Exactly.
So anyway, he has finally got some traction on that. Our head of school is very much in that camp. He is truly an investor and says, look, we have to make the experience wonderful for everyone, kids, parents, alumni, community, everyone. And then if you build it, they will come.
Sure.
So last night was homecoming, and it was the first like alumni warm welcome homecoming I have been a part of in the 10 years that I've been a part of the Hyde Park community. They had gifts for anyone who claimed to have graduated from there. Like
Oh,
we weren't
wow.
checking rosters or anything. It was like, oh yeah, you're you're an alumna. Oh, you're an alumnus. Come on over to our table. We have a Yeti mug for you. We have a bandana for you. Let us buy you dinner tonight. Here, get your kids some free ice cream. Like it was incredible.
A Yeti mug?
Yes, like the cute little travel
The
coffee ones that like the
Yeah,
eight
they're like,
ounces
yeah. I think
engraved with
they're
alumni on it.
I think they're 12, aren't they? Like
Okay,
they
whatever.
yeah,
But
they
like
look like
the nice like handheldy one that
yeah.
is not huge.
Yeah.
They were beautiful. And it was like such a fun gift to give away because it's like a real gift.
Yeah,
Like
no, it's a nice,
not
yeah,
like
it's not like a
here's a,
plastic
you
cheapy
know,
one
a
that'll melt when you put your
right.
coffee in
Yeah.
and burn your
Or
hand when you hold
here's
it.
here's a notepad with our stamp on it, right? Like this,
Stop.
no, this is like a real gift.
The worst. Yeah.
Or a magnet calendar or something. Like
Oh
we're a
my
real
gosh.
estate agent.
Bad swag is the worst. And working in like in events, like
Right.
going to events now, I'm like, bad swag is the worst. Like awful. No, that's a good gift. I like
it was really cool. And even like giving the bandana that's like branded with this year's homecoming. Like it was really cool.
It's great. So fun.
So anyway, during the halftime show, also congrats to the homecoming queen, who is a former student of ours, and I'm so proud of her.
Oh, I love it.
She totally earned it, because if it was voting on who has great spirit and really cares about the school and cares about other people more than herself,
it's her.
It is this woman. It is.
Oh, and she's a woman now. Oh, yes. I met her when she was 12. Yeah. Oh, I'm old. Congratulations, little one. We love you.
Yes.
You're going to be little forever in my heart.
Right. So anyhow, after the presentation of the court, they say, welcome back, class of 14 and 04, celebrating your 10 and 20-year reunions. And they bring everyone, the alumni and their families, out on the field. Wow. And we're standing on the 50 and waving, and they play Stand By Me. And these nearly 40-year-old men start throwing the football around on the field, yelling and screaming, pretending to make touchdowns, rolling around. It was the most playful, beautiful end of the movie moment.
I love it.
It was so great.
Oh, that would have made me emotional if I had been there.
Oh my gosh. I got a 9-second video that that was more than enough. Like it was just so beautiful. And so as we're leaving, I sign out with the head of school and I was like, hey, this was a great party. Thanks so much. Like how cute were those guys playing during halftime? Because, oh, like little boys.
Yeah. Having fun again. Just, yeah.
It was so cute. It was amazing.
It's really sweet.
And it was so fun to be the hostess of that event. Right? Because I do wear multiple hats. My job was sitting at the alumni table, welcoming people back and getting to pass out those fabulous gifts.
Yeah.
And it was a really, really special moment. But watching those kids, like they were the grown-up Sandlot boys, roll around on the football field, it was amazing.
I love it. That's wonderful. What a nice experience. My goodness. As we counter war stories and murder with something
and
sweet. So,
hey, I don't know what happened in the election yet, but I'm sure it wasn't 100% wonderful.
Oh God. My heart is beating.
You might be really excited about some races and really depressed about other ones. Who knows?
Oh gosh.
That proposition you didn't want to pass totally did. Like whatever it is.
Man, here we go. I just need to point out that I came to my desk to work out and there's a sock on my desk and it's just one sock.
Is it a work sock?
It is. No, but it is clean.
Oh, hey, bonus.
But I don't understand.
Better than mine that I walked around the school in yesterday.
It is one lone ankle sock, and I don't know why it's here. That's not my gem.
Okay, so a friend of mine's kid was trying to raise money to buy a Lego set. And I told him, look, I have a basket of unmatched socks. I will pay you 50 cents a pair.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And it was a normal size basket. We are not talking about like this long burger, like takes up space on your kitchen table basket. Like, it's about the size of a laptop, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe 2 VHS tapes put together. Okay.
Oh dear. Age yourself with one line. Done. Thanks. Moving on.
I specifically chose that reference. Anyway, he put together 24 pairs of socks in that basket.
Hey-o.
And my friend was like, you do not need to pay him $12. I was like, oh, no, I'm paying $12.
No.
And
this is
in light of today's episode, because he was so fast, I am going to tip him $3 more, mostly because I have a couple of 5s in my wallet and no 1s. But that's not important. But I was like, dude, I can't believe I had 24 pairs worth of unmatched socks in addition to all the other socks that didn't have a mate in that basket.
Yeah, and I bet that basket is like way more normal now. Like not overflowing.
No,
yeah,
it's not overflowing.
Here's my gem.
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
We have a show to do, guys.
Yeah. This isn't just like conversation hour, Jen. Come on. This is the kind of stuff we do talk about, by the way. This is why we are so connected, because we talk about sock baskets and the sock I found on my desk. Okay, mine is a celebration. The episode about making new adult friends, I took the advice and I made a new adult friend on Halloween. It was the neighbor. Yep. It was the neighbor that I mentioned in the episode who I've been wanting to try and
oh my gosh, you did it.
Yeah, I did it. And then after
right outside that comfort into that stretch zone. Nice and fun.
And then right after it was over and we were both in our houses, I sent a message that said, that was fun. Would love to get together again sometime. Let me know if next weekend works. So I actually made a real plan. So I'm hoping that we can make that happen. But
oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. That's my celebration.
Yep. Into my stretch zone.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Did you get her name?
I did get her name. I'm going to keep it private.
That's the problem with Kit right now is he will make friends on the playground and be like, oh, what's their name? He's like, oh, I don't know.
I don't know, but he was wearing a blue shirt. And
right.
Like,
I'm like,
and he likes dinosaurs. And I also,
yeah.
Great.
I'm like, cool. Maybe get the
dinosaur name. Mom.
Yeah. All right. That is awesome. Okay. Well, when you are taking risks and trying to meet new people on your block, make good choices.
And when you're tipping people, remember that this is the season for showing gratitude. So however you show it, it's going to be appreciated. You can do it.
All right. Whatever you do is going to be enough.
Exactly. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.